Cary, up and at 'em. I didn't think I've ever started a Captain Atamant video with that. This is Captain Atamant 24. Another way of looking at it is that it is the one and only issue of a series titled Captain Atamant, Sir. This is Evasion, the DC crossover, and I am curious if in 5 or 10 years' time I will have looked at every Evasion issue. I am also curious if in 5 or 10 years I will still be doing this. My future wife, January Jones, might not be a fan of these videos, and I am nothing if not a man who will completely reinvent himself for a woman. Anyway, this cover is great, but it's also wrong. We have Captain Atamant leading the heroes like he does in Evasion, and you would pick this up and look forward to seeing that plot line from Evasion expanded on. Maybe get into the mind space of this hero who has been thrust into a position of leadership when there are very more deserving candidates in the room, like Superman or Batman. None of that is in here. It is only on the last page where we see something like this, and it tells us to go and read Evasion for more of it. We open with Captain Atamant flying himself and Max Power to a meeting, a summit of America's powers to coordinate a response to the alien invasion of Earth, which has already devastated Australia. That is a plot point I do not think I have pointed out yet. In Evasion, the very first thing the aliens do is obliterate Melbourne. It's really funny, and it's treated like something that happens and nobody really cares about. In 10 years' time, do you think these videos will have changed at all? At the very least, I hope in 10 years' time, this city is in fucking tatters. That was always my dream. I was hoping that over the course of the channel, that this piece of shit seat I got for 50 quid from clearance bargains in Stanley, I was hoping that it would dilapidate within 2 years. And the humour would be that I refused to throw out a knackered couch. And it would start to feel like a character in the backdrop of me videos. For 50 quid, this is ridiculous. It's still in one piece after 7 years. I want a big tear down it and springs sticking out. The only real problem I have with this sofa is that there's all these black fabric bits that get stuck to it really easily. The main story here involves Chris Pine from Horrible Bosses 2. He has been called in as a soldier boy who will do a very important mission to go into space and readjust the satellite so that they can use it against the invaders. Captain Atamant wants to go on this mission himself, but he was overruled by the others, and now Chris Pine has to do it. Basically, this is the plan here. He guns up, he turns it around to face the aliens. Then they can use its laser blasts to decimate their ranks. I completely disagree with them. They should have let Captain Atamant do this, because he could do it a lot quicker than all this palaver with debriefing Chris Pine, getting them up to speed on the plan, launching them into space, waiting for him to accomplish this. Captain Atamant could just fly up and adjust it himself. He has also already been in this satellite, but they insist that his job is to stay on Earth and command the heroes. Captain Atamant isn't pleased with this, but he follows orders. We get a little interaction between Captain Atamant and Chris Pine, where they talk about both being soldier boys. And then the next morning, before the mission, they find that Chris Pine has been paralyzed from a mysterious glowing aura. And so Captain Atamant is gunning on the mission now. One of the morsels of ideas they want you to think is that maybe Captain Atamant has done this to Chris Pine so that he would be sent on the mission instead. And that's not the case. We also have Clancy Brown, Captain Atamant's nemesis, who is an army general. Clancy Brown, you might not know this, but he once demoted himself to private so that he could serve in general infantry. And as a private, he was single-handedly responsible for defeating the arachnid menace. Would you like to know more? Despite being a horrible bastard, in this case, the character is very deductive and works out that Chris Pine ain't Chris Pine, and this was all a ruse by shape-shifty aliens to learn their plans involving the satellite. Clancy Brown is obviously a supporting character in this series, and it is kind of nice to give him this little subplot where he's actually doing something that isn't making Captain Atamant's life harder. The mission, Captain Atamant's mission, is actually a bit irrelevant next to what's going on elsewhere. And the shape-shifty alien changes its forms to obscure themselves from Clancy Brown's view. And when the alien is about to kill him, that is when Captain Atamant whizzes back to Earth to save the day. I do think this is an enjoyable issue. A lot of Captain Atamant series is. And it does tie in enough with Evasion. But it is a shame we never do expand on Captain Atamant's role in the main Evasion story. Him as a leader is more interesting to me than him gunning on a secret mission into space and Chris Pine Gannon missing. There is that one advert again. This is actually the first part of a two-part story, a crossover. The second part is in an issue of Wonder Woman, and it resolves this loose end with Chris Pine. Captain Atamant, he teams up with Wonder Woman, and they go in search of Chris Pine. And here is the closest that we get to Captain Atamant leading the other heroes of Earth. It ends exactly where Evasion Book 2 begins, and where one of the Superman issues ended too. If you like all these things, if you like Captain Atamant, if you like Evasion, if you like Clancy Brown or Chris Pine, if you like Wonder Woman, I would recommend this. Just be aware that the cover is setting you up for a letdown. I'll give this issue a 7 thumbs up.